Tonight's sixth grade presentation is about a journey. It's about a journey from a beginning to where they are as of last week. Okay? So it's going to be starting in storytelling form, and then we'll transition into playing some songs that are out of our book. And so here we go, starting the story. After we had our instruments in hand, we spent several days figuring out some basic tasks, like how to hold our instruments correctly, how to form our lips in the right shape, which we call our embouchure, how to sit properly, and how to make on the sound on the mouthpiece alone, and make it sound right. When we had enough of those skills mastered, we began to make sounds on our instruments. We didn't start with reading notes on the page because every instrument group would have their own notes, which is pretty confusing at the beginning. To make it the beginning easier, our sounds had common names like do, re, mi, fa, so. The very first note we played together was called so. But on day one, it didn't sound like that. It might have sounded like. Oh boy. So, I lost my place. On our first day of playing sounds on our instruments, we went really slow and had to check every little thing, nearly everyone. And there's a lot of them. The first days were more about holding the instrument correctly, our embouchure, and our posture. But by the end of class on that first day, we were able to play some very simple patterns like so, so, so. And we got really adventurous and played so, so, fa. And then it was time to leave class. So that's about as far as we got. So eventually we discovered 3 more notes. Mi, re, do. And we could play various patterns, including do, fa, fa, fa. And they all tell me they're not having any plans for marriage right now, so. And so, mi, so, mi, so. This old man, by the way. And along the way, we also discovered that some of these patterns had special meaning for various instruments. For instance, the brass players, or trumpets and trombones, there's one pattern that they can do where they don't need to wiggle any fingers for trumpets or move the slides at all for trombones, and that just goes, and what they're engaging is making their lips go in different shapes, and that goes do, so, do, so, do, so, do. Nice job. And, thank you. Good job. And a favorite or unfavorite pattern for the flute players, because if you watch really carefully, they have to move every single finger on their instrument between these 2 notes. And it goes mi, do, mi, re, mi, re, mi, re. And at first, they were always like, Mr. Swisher, don't. But we did it anyway. Here we go, the clarinets. Their special pattern today, it's just taking them from no fingers to a thumb and 1. And that one goes so, fa, mi, fa, so. Whistle while you work. All right, and then we had the percussionists over here. The percussionists are over here, and when everybody else is learning how to hold their instrument, how to use their tongue while they're playing, how to breathe into their instrument, how to form their lips in the right shape, how to hold their instrument correctly in the correct posture. Did I name 6 things or 5 things? At any rate, I lost my way. All these people are learning all these new ways to hold their body, while the percussionists are just over there holding a pair of sticks. So the percussionists are like, they can do fancy things like do 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 re mi fa so. Yay! Yeah. We got a nice crew of percussionists over there. So that was basically the story of our beginning. From there, once we actually started getting into the book and reading notes, our very first song that used all 5 notes was called Pentastic.